Good to see you. Nice to see your team, Chris. Just wanted to read a couple of examples of illegal shops in my district, which spans from Christopher Street on the west side of Manhattan up to West 103rd. A worker at Smoke City on 710 9th Avenue was shot in the leg during an attempted robbery in January. There was a shooting in front of a store called Forbidden Cannabis in Hell's Kitchen. An unlicensed shop at 423 9th Avenue was recently held up at gunpoint. There was a fire at an unlicensed smoke shop at 346 West 52nd, Hell's Kitchen Clouds, it's called. By the way, these shops should be shut down just for their bad puns. There are shops, 4 of them, located within a block of a public elementary school, PS 11, High Society, 234 8th Avenue, The Spot, 420, 222 8th Avenue, Ricky's Convenience, 224 8th Avenue, Society Zaza, 239 8th Avenue. There's an unlicensed store at 606 10th Avenue called New World Convenience, with high schoolers from Beacon High School observed to have regularly been entering and leaving. And Empire Cannabis Club at 147 8th Avenue, also near a school, has been observed selling to minors. And at 301 West 55th Street, we've seen cannabis sold. It's an unlicensed shop to high schoolers coming in and out of the shop. Thank you for inspecting that location and seizing cannabis on the site, but it's reopened. It's opened and selling illegal product again. What are we going to do about it? I mean, this is, as much as an inconvenience and as much as this undermines the legal market, this is a public health issue, particularly for young people. Does it not deserve a more expedited process for addressing the illegal shops?
I absolutely agree, Senator. I absolutely agree, Senator. This absolutely is a significant threat to public health, and for the sales to minors. I mean, that remains a felony offense. That is something that remains on the books. I know, law enforcement, particularly in the city, have done underage buys in many of these shops. We want them as close as bad as you do. I'd love for a more efficient process. We've been trying to go and, yep.
Could you tell me what you've observed in your raids of the illegal shops? What is the product? What's being sold? I know it's not from New York. Are the levels of dangerous for consumers, particularly children?
Thank you, Senator. Absolutely. And just before I answer that question, just to speak what you mentioned about the shootings and things you've seen, I think that speaks to how much work we have to put in before we go into a location and conduct an inspection. We take the safety and security of our investigators and tax investigators very high. That's our paramount focus when we go in. So it's not just something where our investigators are driving by, we see a shop, and we run in and conduct the inspection. There's a lot of groundwork that goes into each one of those inspections before we walk in the door, so we have a better understanding of what we're going to be faced when we get into the location to conduct the inspection, specifically for the reasons that you mentioned. When we go into these locations, I'm happy to say we do not see product that originates in New York State. It's all product, from my perspective, and I've gotten the readout on every inspection. I've been on most of the inspections throughout the state. We're seeing product from out of state. It's not New York licensed locations that are supplying these stores. When we look at the amount of THC and the THC concentration, it is at dangerous levels. You can see a candy bar that would have 1,000 milligrams of THC, which obviously most people, you see a candy bar, you think you're going to eat the whole thing. If you were to eat all of that with the level of THC, that would be a problem. So we see that when we get into locations that are unlicensed and illegal and they're processing their own products in the basement. Those are not products that I would want anyone to consume. I've been in more basements in New York City than a lot of people, and we've seen those processes taking place when we walk in, and it's not a sanitary location. And I think if you go into an illegal store, you see the products, they're marketed to children, they've got cartoons on them, they mimic what we see with Cheetos or Hershey bars or all those things that a kid that may not necessarily read, they can see the logo and they think they know what they're eating. That is not what we see in licensed dispensaries. And I think the dichotomy of going into an illegal store and seeing what's for sale versus going to a licensed dispensary and seeing how clean, how sanitary, and how everything is packaged is glaring. It's complete opposite ends of the spectrum.